That's right, man. What's up, boy?
I'll never wash his hand for at least 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Millie's Cafe is proud to present His Royal Rudeness, the Master of Indiscretion, the King of Satire, the Lord of Lewd, the Wrong Hero.
Wait, tell him the name of the movie.
Today he's presenting a very special feature. It's a movie entitled
Stigma.
Stigma.
Keep talking.
And that's it, man.
Hey Jeff.
Yeah, right. Yes?
Tell me something.
Yes, Isk?
What is the meaning of death?
The meaning of death is like this. When you die, then you ain't no more.
What's the depth of meaning?
That's too esoteric.
Too esoteric.
How long? This performance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is it still running?
Well, I see we have a few seconds left to kill before Francis comes. Sorry, before the Wrong Hero comes on.
Guess why don't you do your dance? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
The fear dance.
And now, the Wrong Hero will do his beautiful dance of rage.
Yeah, let's see it.
I'm the Wrong Hero, and this is Stigma. I will speak slowly and quietly, raising my voice only for emphasis. I will show you empathy. How are you? How are you? How are you?
All right.
Who cares? But I will set limits assertively. Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Do you hear me? Just shut up. Do I make myself clear? Because I'm the Wrong Hero, and like my dad used to say to me, if you didn't hear me the first time, you won't hear me the second time. And I used to say to him, what? And he'd say, if you didn't hear me the second time, you won't hear me the third time. And I would say to him, what? Because I'm the Wrong Hero. I never repeat myself. I never repeat myself. Not even to establish a leitmotif. Not even to establish a leitmotif. And I hope that I may never use the future subjunctive. Not even to establish a leitmotif. Because I'm the Wrong Hero. I'm the Wrong Hero. And I never repeat myself. Not even to establish a leitmotif. Hi, I'm the Wrong Hero. I am an entertainer, a celebrity, a self-designated living legend, a ceremonial effigy, and a larger-than-life replica of your own aspirations to fame. But you can call me Wrong Hero for sure. I'm the Wrong Hero, and you know, actually, I'm a very unassuming and modest guy. But I like to say this. I am Supreme Lord and Master over all, and all who oppose me are superstitious cattle, too blinded with the sweat who oppose the wrong hero are misshapen freaks. Not really. I just like to use that expression, misshapen freaks. You know what? The name of this film is Stigma, and there's a little story that goes behind it, which I'm not going to tell you, because I hate you. Leave. No, actually I will tell you. In college I had a girlfriend, and she used to hate the song Chestnut Mare by the Byrds, actually Roger McGuinn with some sidemen, because one of the little lyrics in it was, I'm gonna catch that horse if I can, and when I do, gonna give her my brand. And that's what stigma is. One of the meanings of stigma is to give a tattoo to a criminal. A stigma was the mark that a criminal would receive when government officials threw him in the pokey. Now, of course, criminals give themselves their own stigmatizing marks in prison to show their affiliation with various groups which dominate our nation's penitentiary system. However, that is the origin of the expression stigma. I've always felt stigmatized, and I would like to share some of that stigma with you, if I may. Well, back when I was in the hospital after I fell off a slide, my sister says I was showing off, but I think I was pushed. And I broke my wrist and put 10 stitches in my head. Well, I was lying in the hospital bed reading Archie comics at the age of 7, and a very attractive nurse came in, and she said to me, aren't you kind of young to be reading Archie? And I felt a certain mysterious swelling in my loins, that I was doing something forbidden. And I recall thinking, even at that tender age, boy, it's a good thing she doesn't know I've got Archie's Madhouse Glads under my pillow. What would she think of me then? And next to me in the hospital bed was a little boy, a burn victim, who, in his sleepless fever, would say all night long, my little red wagon, my little red wagon, my little red wagon. And I have never forgotten those significant words, even to this day. And so it is that every film I make hereafter will be entitled, My Little Red Wagon. No, not really. I was reading an account of the Salem witch trials, and it was written for children, and they were talking about Tituba and how she was planning to go public with her revelations about the fakery of the little girls who were pretending to be possessed by witches. And at one point they said, the girls said, we'll fix her little red wagon, and fix it they did. And I never forgot that either. Here's another interesting story from my stigmatized childhood. I used to do a lot of cooking for my mother. She and I lived together in the projects. And once a week she would buy ice cream and a steak with the food stamps that we were so generously given by our federal government. And, well, one day I decided I would follow the recipe on the back of the Lipton onion soup mix and make Lipton onion soup mix steak. So I made the Lipton onion soup mix, not following the directions. I just threw some water in a cast iron skillet just to get that rust working, threw in the Lipton onion soup mix, then plopped that old steak in there and boiled it for about an hour. And after I finished cooking that steak, I remember eating it with relish and mustard and gusto, which they only sell in certain stores in the poor parts of town, and thinking, I'm a rich man now, I'm eating steak, yeah! Needless to say, I was a fool. You know, my dad was never around, but when he did decide to make one of his all-too-rare appearances, I remember waiting for him outside on the stoop. And the cars would go by, and I would count the cars heading east and the cars heading west. 3 to 1. 5 to 2. 200 cars, and then he would show up. And whenever he saw me, he would give me the benefit of his infinite wisdom. And he would say, "Son, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar." And I'd say to him, "Dad, you catch more fucking flies with horse shit than you do with honey or vinegar. And what are we going to do with all these flies? Open up our own business? Flycatcher and Son Incorporated? We specialize in dung. Dung are us." So I never gave much heed to Dad's advice. And, you know, I'd ask him for money, and he'd say, "Well, you know, son, money doesn't grow on trees." And I'd say to him, "I know money doesn't grow on trees. It falls from your fat wallet, fool! Now, fork it over. Pronto. Habla Espanol, Papa?" And he'd say to me, "Son, you know, money isn't everything." And I'd say to him, "Dad, if money isn't everything, then why don't you give me some now?" Well, I can see that I'm beginning to bore you with my account of my youthful travails, and so I would like to remind you that I am the wrong hero. Alcoholic, drug addict,
Store next door is locked.
easy guy to shop for around Christmas time.
It's locked.
I couldn't help but overhear what you were just saying. The store next door is locked, you say? Well, I will incorporate that into my comedic routine, since you were so kind as to bring it up as a subject for me to ponder, because of course I am totally without ideas or originality and only feed off of the feedback that the audience deigns to give me. The store next door is closed.
Make a song about the store.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Central.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Saturday.
I've got roaches in my underwear.
I've got real bad dermatitis on my leg.
Are you coming over to the Meltdown House to dump some of your movies for the people who wish to have copies?
Someday, my friend, someday.
Not this afternoon?
Not this afternoon. I have a very important mission that I must accomplish.
You have 20 minutes to get through.
Well, yes, and if you don't shut up, then maybe I won't get through more than half of them. Wouldn't that be a blessing?
It is very gracious of you to allow us to sit in your presence.
Very well, then. Let me tell you the story of my first drink. I was hiking up in the Swiss Alps, and I got lost. And there was a blinding snowstorm, as opposed to the kinds of snowstorms which enable you to see with utter clarity. And I fell unconscious. Next thing I know, I was surrounded by a St. Bernard dog, and he had a little barrel around his neck. Don't talk, please. I'm trying to express myself. Kindly share your insights or questions with Mr. Wine after the conclusion of the show. Surely, even a mind such as yours, which is racing at Mach 10 speed, can retain the question until after my presentation has been given. However, if that is not the case, perhaps a pen and a piece of paper would suffice for you to jot down that whimsical insight until after the remaining show. Anyhow, yes. So there was a St. Bernard with a barrel around his neck, and I opened that barrel, and a liquid came out of it. And it was tasty, so I had a drink. And then I had another. And another. And before too long, I was surrounded by St. Bernard dogs, and they just kept emptying them barrels. And then,
Is this your penis?
no, it's my cod's piece. Anyhow, you've totally destroyed the punchline of this joke, which is as follows. When I woke up, I was surrounded by 500 St. Bernard dogs and a mile of yellow snow in every direction. Let me tell you some more about Stigma. Have you ever had a girlfriend who was ashamed of you? Well, I know that's not a problem for you. I know that's probably not a problem for you. Definitely not a problem for you.
I don't know what that was.
Do you ever have a girlfriend who was ashamed to be seen? You know, like that song Frank Mills, ashamed to be seen with you? I love him, but it embarrasses me to walk down the street with him. Well, I had a girlfriend like that, and one time we went into the Baskin-Robbins in Harvard Square, and we got some ice cream cones, and the girl behind the counter said to my girlfriend, "Is that your boyfriend? What kind of flavor of ice cream do you want?" And my girlfriend responded, "Vanilla, no."
Was that your 55-year-old girlfriend?
Now, that wasn't my girlfriend, who was, in fact, a discreet middle age. Man, she had a body like well, it just wouldn't quit. I'm telling you. It was like, you know, I mean, yeah! You know, seals in the zoo would jump when they saw her, you know. I mean, that's how sexy she was. She was a knockout, man. I don't care how old she was. It's not the age, man. It's not the meat, it's the motion, you know? And she had both, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know, so here's another amusing story from my stigmatized childhood. I grew up in a black ghetto in Pittsburgh, and called Northview Heights. And one Halloween, I decided to dress up like my hero, Superman. And when all the black kids saw me sneaking home from school after school, they all jumped on me with delighted glee and started punching me, but not as hard as they usually would, because they were glad that I was dressed as Superman and that they had an opportunity to tell Superman, as represented by me, exactly what they thought of him. But they didn't want to hurt Superman, they just wanted to prove they could punch Superman in the jaw. So remember, when you live in a ghetto, don't dress up like Superman, because every gee-hunk, bow-hunk, and layabout, driftless, drifting sponger will come up to you and say, "Superman, huh? Well, you don't look so tough to me. How's about a kryptonite cocktail? Boom!" You know? So, just remember that.
Did they pummel you?
They pummeled me, but like I said, not too hard. Just hard enough to show who was boss around there. Hi, I'm the Wrong Hero. Now, you've noticed this embarrassing bulge. The reason it's there is that I glued my balls together, because my motto is, if you can't lick them, join them. Okay? I held a bullet in my hand because I couldn't get it through my head. And here's another thing. I know that somewhere out there there's a bullet with my name on it. How do I know? It's been writing bad checks all over town, and my account is severely overdrawn. That's how I know. Hi, I'm the Wrong Hero. People call me America's most beloved surrealist. That is the designation under which I wish to be known from now on. Who dark? Who day? Who dark? I'm the Wrong Hero, and I am addicted to rationality, but I gotta have the size of Oklahoma! Yes. I am also known as one of America's foremost collectors. What do I collect, you may ask? Dust, static cling, and most of all, enemies. Okay. You know something? Ever since I cleaned my glasses, I could spot a firefly from 8,500 miles away. Hey, you know what? You ever get up in the morning and you're real sleepy and stuff? And well, of course, everybody gets up in the morning and they're real sleepy. But you have to be a guy to understand the following. And you get the shaving cream, but you think it's toothpaste and you shave it in your mouth, you put it in your mouth accidentally. You ever do that?
Yeah.
Well, I do it deliberately. I just happen to like the taste of shaving cream, especially that menthol. Boy, it goes down like creme de menthe. What? Dustin Hoffman doing Mad Magazine, 1953. You know that song, Ricky, Don't Lose That Number? Send it off in a letter to yourself. Well, I wrote a letter to myself, and it goes, Dear Wrong Hero, you're great. Signed, The Wrong Hero. And then I liked the letter so much that I wrote back. I said, "Dear Wrong Hero, I enjoyed your letter, especially the parts about me. Signed, The Wrong Hero." Now, I'm the wrong hero. I may not be rowing with both oars in the water, but I am unusually articulate with the one that I do row with in the water. Now, someone once said that the five, you leaving already?
Well, we want to come back.
What, you got a score? What is it?
We'll be right back.
All right.
This.
Well, no, don't take Iskowitz with you, or else I'll be performing to, well, you go if you want. I mean, don't let peer pressure, let peer pressure influence you. You know, the five most important things in life, one pundit has opined in the London Spectator, are health, money, family and friends, congeniality, and continuing activity. And I say, 1 out of 5 ain't bad. Now I'm the wrong hero, and some people say that I am biased. I am not biased. I just have a point of view, which the people who accuse me of being biased are sorely lacking in, I might add, as they walk in a certain dreadful, thought-stifling, lockstep conformity to whatever fashionable socio-political creed happens to be on the plate, but not me. You know why I wear this hat?
Why?
My hair is as soft and silky as the beard of the Mongolian goat. And I aim to keep it that way, see? Oh, by the way, when you're driving in a car, beware of men wearing hats. They always drive like idiots. Baseball caps are all right, but beware of men in hats. This will save your life someday. And well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Beware of men in hats. They don't keep their speed steady, you know, and they drive too slow anyway as it is, and they're always in the fast lane, even though they're doing 45. No, I mean men in hats who drive with hats on. Most people take their hats off when they're in a car, you know. They got the blower on. They don't need a goddamn hat to keep their head warm. But other people, you know, that hat is a uniform. It's like stitched to their head. And if you want to do brain surgery, you've got to cut through the top of the hat to get to their head, you know? So beware of men in hats. And I know I've just lost a lot of friends among my constituency who wears hats. Exactly 0. But nonetheless, it had to be said.
Why?
Because it will save your life someday, that's why. Don't get behind a man wearing a hat. I don't care if you're surrounded by policemen. Pass that sucker. Get as far away from him as you can. Now,
Wear hats too, though.
what's that?
Policemen wear hats too.
See what I'm saying? Beware of men in hats. Beware of men in hats. I'm going to have a tattoo on my hat, okay? You know?
Hard hats.
Well, no, hard hats are different. I mean, basically, those kind of hats that old people wear, the sweatbands and the little fly fish, you know, but also any hat, you know, except a baseball cap is usually okay. But those guys are usually drunk. You know, they have snuff in one nose, coke in the other, you know, a heroin syringe sticking out of their arm, they're boozed up, they're watching a sports game in the passenger seat on a little portable television, and you know, they're like, you know, and truck drivers. Now, most truck drivers are very good drivers, but some of them get bored, and they try to do 8 or 9 things at once when they're driving a truck. And I know, because I've hitchhiked, and I've gotten picked up by truck drivers. This fucker, one of these guys, he was like petting his dog, lighting a cigarette, drinking a beer, fiddling with the CB, steering with his goddamn big toe, and then he got his stomach and he was steering with that for a while, you know? And he says to me, "Hey, you want to drive?" It's like, "I'll show you how to do these 19 gears, it's easy." I go, "I don't even have a driver's license." "Oh, forget it then." It's like, "I'm a paraplegic, but I got a driver's license." "Solid, you're in, man. My kidneys are shot. Let you drive for a while. I'm going to snooze off and back. Where are we going? Who cares? Just hit that sucker straight, you know? Well, school bus gets in your way, here's the horn. I'd like to have have one of those horns around, you know, handy in my car. Wouldn't it be disorienting to have one of these little Hyundais come up to you and it, you know, I'd love that.
Like the Freak Brothers comic about the same stuff.
Yes, you're right, but Phineas Freak hooked up a sound effects device on his Volkswagen, not his Hyundai, because they hadn't been existing yet, and it made nuclear bomb sounds. So
What was it that the little kid said that inspired him to do
he
it?
said, "Hey man, that car has a horn that goes bleat, bleat." That's what he said. And you can read it in The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, #2, if you care to look it up. It's been reprinted several times. It's easy to get. Go to the Million Year Circus in Harvard Square. Pick up a fine line of Gilbert Sheldon comic books. And now I'd like to give my top 10 reasons why I am sick of top 10 reasons lists. Reason number 10. There aren't usually 10 funny things to be said about anything. Reason number 9. Most people think if you refer to brand names, cities, or celebrities, you're automatically being funny. Reason number 8. Top 10 lists are an overused device from a sophomore creative writing class, which I just happened to take myself, so I know. Reason number 7. A list means that you don't have to put the stuff in any particular order. And of course, anybody can think of 10 funny things with the help of a couple of his friends and perhaps several hits off of a bong. But only an artist can put it in order. Reason number 6. God already has a top 10 list. It's called the 10 Commandments. Read it. One of them is, "Thou shalt not steal." Reason number 5. The number 10 has a quasi-mystical significance to semi-literates. Reason number 4. Lists are boring. Reason number 3. Lists are redundant. Reason number 2. Lists are trite. Reason number 1. Lists are of no lasting interest. They all talk about contemporary things, and 20 years from now, nobody's going to care who clubbed Nancy Kerrigan, or why the club is suing Kryptonite.
Hey, you know, Nancy Kerrigan looks awfully like Michael Jackson. You ever notice that? With her hair tied back?
Wow, no, I never really did notice that, but thanks for bringing it to my attention and disrupting the continuity of my presentation.
Blame somebody.
Hey, you know where Line Street is? It's like the border between Cambridge and Somerville. I parked my car on Line Street. I had the rear end in Cambridge and the front end in Somerville. And when I came back, somebody had stuck a potato in the exhaust pipe and they smashed the windshield. Somebody off in the... Yeah, somebody heard that. Well, you know, the Middle East here, it's a family restaurant, right? As opposed to what? An adult restaurant? Where people sit around, "Shuey, look at the Hooters on that one. Hey, look at that salad dressing. It's undressed." You know, so I'm just wondering exactly what a family restaurant means. A family restaurant means a baby can puke all over the soup bowl and nobody thinks twice about it. So that's the definition of a family restaurant. Now, I'd like to sing a song about the Middle East, or about perhaps an Arabic restaurant which is not as good as the Middle East, in case anybody from the Middle East is listening. It's supper time, and the kibbe is greasy. The silverfish are jumping, and they tip you a dime. That's all I got so far, mercifully for you. You know what I say? I say, I hate going to restaurants where the waiter introduces himself to you by name. You know, like, "Hi, my name is Arnold. Tonight's special, prime rib, plus a complimentary visit to our salad bar." I say, "Hi, my name is Wrong Hero. Tonight's special, feed me and live, plus a complimentary visit to hell if you fail to heed my urgent admonition." Because, you know, I say, good manners are for wimps. Good manners are for people who are afraid that they're going to get their head smashed in if they fail to use good manners. So remember, you know, it's a macho thing to be rude. You know, like, so next time your mother tells you, kids, to be polite, say,
I ain't no sissy! You're trying to make me into a baby!
you know, something's bothering me about this Nancy Kerrigan, Tonya Harding thing, okay? I mean, 5 words. You got a skater, you got a club, you got Lillehammer, you got a blizzard, and you have an ice age. So a crippled skater skating on the ice age gets hit by a little hammer or something. You know, Tonya Harding, you know what her real problem was? It's not that she plotted to put her rival out of business. It's the fact that she's an Olympic skater who smokes cigarettes. That's the real strike against her. It was in the Boston Herald, it was in Time magazine, so you know that they've got something on her. She actually has a lower class habit. She can't be an Olympiad with that kind of behavior. She also has a tattoo, right? You know, like blood alcohol content 40. Because no matter what a tattoo says, that's what it's really saying. I had a pint of whiskey and a 6-pack of beer, and then I went down to the tattoo parlor. That's what a tattoo says. It doesn't say, I am an individual who will never be buried in a Jewish cemetery. And they had tattoo night here on Tuesday, downstairs. AJ, WBCN present tattoo night. You know why tattoo night is a big moneymaker? Anybody who's drunk enough to get a tattoo is a chronic alcoholic and will drink 10 times the beer as anybody else. So people with tattoos should be let in for free, because you know they're just going to clean the bar up. What's that? Drambuie? I think I'll try some. You know, okay, $5 a glass. I don't care. I'm pissing away my paycheck on it. Yeah, so remember that, club owners. People with tattoos are cool. Oh. Catch a Rising Star bills itself as having Boston's brightest young comedians. I think the Middle East should bill itself as having Boston's stupidest caveman comedians, you know? Like you could play Iron Man on the soundtrack. I am caveman. You know, like, funny thing happened to me on the way over to the watering hole. I killed a rhinoceros. You know, like Boston's most inventive troglodyte comedians. Like, you know, I think there's something vaguely alcoholic about the Flintstones. I really do. You know, we got John Goodman starring as Fred Flintstone, and there's this booze connection, which of course it's a kiddie cartoon, so you couldn't have it in the cartoon, but maybe there'll be some booze in the movie. I know there was booze in the Jetsons, you know, but I guess cavemen didn't come up with the trick of fermenting barley, you know, until they were Egyptians. So, but you know, it's like, so if you could combine the Flintstones with alcohol, then the theme song would be something like, Flintstones, we're the fucking Flintstones. We're a bunch of alcoholic from the town. We forgot history. So, yes, I don't mean to stigmatize people who drink alcohol, but I am anyway. A toast to water. Fucking A, man. Fucking H2O. You ever see people standing around drinking water and like, you know, and dissolving their inhibitory forebrain? It's like, this is the best fucking water. Man, does that feel good? I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl. You ever go to bars and have people force water on you?
What do you mean, man? Come on, one little sip ain't gonna hurt. Come on, man. What's the matter with you? What, you down, wuss? Oh, you're too good to drink water with the rest of us, huh? Man, if only you knew what you were missing, man. This is the best goddamn water I've ever tasted. Believe me, I've had lots of water. There's a lot of water under the bridge, son.
Well, anyway, did my laundry the other day. My laundry is like my sex life. Happens twice a year, weighs 200 pounds, takes 12 hours, costs $10. So, remember that. Now, they have these ads for Amtrak, you know, like, ride the train. It's the only time you'll ever talk to your children. So ride the train. Trains are so boring, there's nothing else to do. So ride the train and talk to your children for a change. You can't talk to them on a bus. You're too busy warding off that guy whose breath smells like garlic. So ride the train. You get a better class of bum on a train, you know. So here's an experience I had. I was giving a dinner party, me and my girl, or my fiancée, for her cousin. It's not really a party if there's only 3 people, but, you know, if you're determined enough, you can make it a party, you know. But we were arguing before the party. This is like such a cliched situation. We were arguing before the party. 5 minutes before she gets there, the food isn't done yet, you know. Uh-oh, you're doing a sound check over my set. You know what that means? It means hurry up, but I can't hurry up. I haven't finished yet. I will finish soon. I'll speed it up, even though I hate to pick up the pace too much. I'll be done by my time, don't worry. We were arguing 5 minutes before the dinner party about, the cookies aren't done yet. The salad, you didn't make the salad. I hate you, I hate you. And then she walks in the door, and we're all smiles. Hi, how are you? Have a seat. Dinner's almost ready. You got here just in time. It's funny how women can just go from like, I never want to see you. Oh, hi. You know? So that's something you learn, you know, once you take place, once you have these cliche situations taking place. Now, you know, I'm the wrong hero, and I'm a firm believer in not talking down to children. I say, talk down to adults, because they're mature enough to be condescended to, but don't talk down to children. And now I'd like to give my message to the children. Kids, don't inhale helium. But if you do, you just might be able to fly! So be careful. My apartment came furnished, which is great, you know, because I wouldn't want to have to go out and buy cockroaches. I love my apartment, I really do. I love like listening out the window at 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning and hearing the bums say,
It's a good rubbing alcohol. It's not a great rubbing alcohol.
or
Hey, you hear about that alcohol-free Old Spice? Hey, what are we gonna drink on a Sunday now, huh?
so, I don't know. Oh, you know, I got one of those, you ever see those baby on board stickers? I got me a sticker for my car. It says, I have no children and my life is meaningless, so go ahead and run me off the fucking road. But it doesn't really fit, so I have to have 3 cars, you know. I have no children and my life is meaningless, so go ahead and run me off the fucking road. I got a Braille bumper sticker. It says, if you can read this, you must be blind. Oh, you know, I used to use drugs, but I got a prescription now, and it's medicine. I think they should legalize amphetamines. and I'm going to lobby 24 hours a day until they do. I think they should legalize LSD, and I'm going to lobby 24 hours a minute until they do. I think they should legalize barbiturates and, what was I saying? Oh, God. Oh, my God. So, you know, I stopped using drugs because I noticed something. People on drugs notice everything. At least everything that has to do with drugs. You know, like, hey man, nice vomit. It glitters. I'm having an out-of-body experience. Oh yeah, it looks to me like you're having an out-of-mind experience, actually. Huh. You know, and people who drink gourmet coffees are just as bad as drug users. Because basically, the whole ritual behind cappuccino, it's the same as the ritual behind drugs. Gourmet coffee is for yuppies who wish they still use drugs. As for me, I have a love-hate relationship with coffee. I love it and I hate it. I hate it because I already have a bitter taste in my mouth first thing in the morning. I don't need coffee. Because you know, basically drugs are politics for people who are too lazy to vote. And you know, when you're a kid, you see the little skull and crossbones on a bottle of iodine or a bottle of aspirin, and it gives you the idea that drugs are cool. It's like, hey, if I eat this whole bottle of aspirin, maybe I'll be a pirate, you know? So, I mean, that's the motto behind every single drug that's ever made. Poison is cool. Warning, Surgeon General has determined that poison is good for your image. You know, in other words,
that's why they came up with Mr. Yuck.
Mr. Yuck. And you know, a hipster is just a bum with good drugs. So remember that, next time someone calls you a hipster. Well, I got into one of those 12-step programs. Step 1, take drugs. Step 2, buy drugs. Step 3, go broke. Step 4, ding, sell drugs. Step 5, sell drugs to my friends. Step 6, sell drugs to my high school principal. Step 7, sell drugs to that nice undercover policeman. Step 8, renounce the use of drugs. Step 9, replace the use of drugs with the use of a fatuous ideology. Step 10, speak to other people about how much I hate drugs. Step 11, decide that I have no social life anymore. And step 12, go back to drugs. Now that hasn't happened yet. You know, I think it's good that they have legal guns and illegal drugs. Because you know, when people have guns, it gives them the get up and go to go out and rob convenience stores, and then they get a lot of money and they pump it right back into the economy. And you know, it's good for the economy. But if you legalize drugs, then people just stay in the house all day and watch TV, and they don't spend any money. So I think things are good the way they are. Legal guns, illegal drugs, you know. Because if it was the other way around, who knows? God forbid, we might have sustainability, and that would be bad for business. So careful now. Oh. Or even worse, people might decide to become religious. You know, I invented a religion for dogs.
Here, read this.
It's called heal. The Old Testament is just one word. Sit. And the New Testament is 2 words. Good boy. Dog's death sentence is reduced to exile. It was not quite the drama of the familiar Hollywood death row scene in which the executioners and the condemned anxiously awaited the last minute call from the governor with a reprieve. Taro, the death row dog. Let's see. Can't live in New Jersey anymore. Injured a 10-year-old girl. Willie Horton. Okay. That's nice. I like the Willie Horton reference. It's cool. Oh, and you know, I invented a Bible for children. It's called the Bib. The Old Testament is just one word. No. And the New Testament is 2 words. Because. Actually, that's just one word. But the way I say it, it comes out 2. So, now this word for Pope Light. Say, pagans, Tired of painting your bodies blue and worshiping oak trees? Step up to Christianity. Christianity gives you three gods in one. And be sure to try Pope Light. Pope Light, slimmer than the fat pontiffs Catholics worship. The Pope says, thou shalt not steal.
How are you?
Pope Light says,
Good.
it's okay to borrow some as long as you mean to give it back sometime. I could go on forever in this vein, but now it's time to present the adventures of Super God. Super God, faster than the speed of logic, more powerful than a human motive, able to leap tall churches in a single bound. Lo, up in the firmament, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Super God, disguised as mild-mannered Jehovah, mild-mannered deity for a great Western civilization. He fights a never-ending battle against truth, justice, and the un-American way as Super God, defender of weak and innocent gods everywhere. And now this word for, now we'll be coming back to Super God right after this word for Jesus Christ soup. Are you tired of chicken gumbo, chicken barley? Try Jesus Christ soup. It's the only soup which gives you spiritual advice as you're eating it. Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Only with Jesus Christ soup. I was thinking about my dad earlier and about how he used to always say, he was never there, but when he was, he'd give me advice, you know. And one of the things he would say is,
Work! You've never done a hard day's work in your life! You've never gotten up at 4 in the morning and worked a back-breaking day, 16 hours, double shift overtime.
I never did it either, but I know what hard work is.
And you don't know what hard work is.
You ever have to deal with bureaucrats like Bureau of Motor Vehicle Registries, income tax people? The last refuge of a bureaucrat is to say, I'm only doing my job. Usually when they're trying to keep you from going about your business, they say, I'm only doing my job, which is obstructing you, basically, right? You had this paycheck thing. Did she say, I'm only doing my job? Well, she would have if you had argued with her enough. So, because basically, bureaucracy is democracy backwards. Okay, remember that. Now, people are so regimented. Do you know how regimented they are? They work all week, and they have this designated time to act spontaneous, and it's called the weekend. I do not need a designated time to act spontaneously. Thank you. So I won't. Now, you know, our democracy has been totally diluted by television. And in a television democracy, it's the lame leading the slow. Because most Americans need television so that they know what to think. Now here's the thing. Steve was saying, hey, you got to get a computer last night, you know? And I got mad. And I was wondering why I was angry at him. And now I know why. It's like, I have original thoughts. I don't need a television monitor to tell me what I think. I know what I think. I can put it in order myself. I don't need a machine to act spontaneous, you know? I mean, like, here's the thing. People get all their ideas from television, then they go to their office and they work on a computer with a television monitor, so because they don't know what to think. So they have a computer think for them at the office, and they have a television think for them at home, and they never have time to think for themselves. Because you know what television is? You heard it here first. This is going to make me famous, by the way. I think I'll shout it.
Television is tobacco for the eyes.
In case you didn't hear that, I'll say it amplified. Television is tobacco for the eyes, okay? And that's why they don't have cigarette ads on television anymore. It was redundant. I watched this made-for-television movie. It was The Disease of the Week. It was about Alzheimer's disease. It was called Forget Everything. And the sequel was called Don't Worry, I Already Have. I'm gonna make a movie that's gonna be called The Smart Bomb versus the Dum Dum Bullet. You know, it'll be like, the smart bomb thought he was pretty smart, but then he met the Dum Dum Bullet, and the Dum Dum was no Dum Dum, and the smart bomb wasn't as smart as he thought. And just wait till you see the explosive finale in The Smart Bomb versus the Dum Dum Bullet. This whole Amy Fisher thing. You know what I found out? Anything can be made into a Yogi Bear cartoon. It's like, hey, boo-boo. Hey, Amy, let's go to the hotel and eat salami sandwiches. I don't think my mother would like that, Joey. Hey, who cares about your mother? You know, it's like, hey, Tonya, let's hit Nancy Kerrigan with a club. I don't think the Olympic Committee would like that. Who cares what they think? Let's go ahead. Hey, boo-boo, let's rummage around in gigantic dumpsters. I don't think the health code would agree with that, Yogi. Who cares what they think? Yogi Bear was the original homeless person. You know, really. Oh, you know what gets me about television? Quincy reruns. Quincy, the whole thing. Like, you can do I do this little game when I watch Quincy. It's called the This is an Outrage watch. How long into the episode will it be until Quincy says, this is an outrage? Yeah, Quincy at the crucifixion.
You mean this man was crucified without even so much as a trial by his peers? This is an outrage! Judas Iscariot, front and center. What do you know about this?
Well, I don't know. I'd rather not talk about it.
This is an outrage! This cover-up can't go on much longer.
You know, it was the whole Watergate thing, you know. This is an outrage. It sort of takes the place of real political dissent. This
is an outrage!
But I'm not going to do anything about it till the end of the show. And there'll be several commercials between that time and the end. So, they're always talking about impressionable children. What about impressionable adults? They're the ones that the advertisers go after. They're the ones who have the money, right? I was studying wolves. We're a lot more like the wolf than perhaps we know. A wise man once said, men are sheep for conformity and wolves. No, men are sheep for credulity and wolves for conformity. But there's some differences between us and the wolf. Wolves eat their prey before it's dead, and the IRS waits until April 15th. Wounded wolves are killed by the pack. We just put our wounded in nursing homes, you know, in hospitals, let them die slow. Wolves eat their pups when they act strange, and we have remedial education. And there's an interesting thing about monkeys. If you give a monkey LSD, the other monkeys will bite him. So remember that next time you're tempted to take drugs, you know. You know, they say a dog is your best friend. And I say, yeah, sure. Sure, a dog's my best friend. All my best friends roll in their own filth. All my best friends eat their own shit. All my best friends drink out of the toilet. All my best friends piss in corners. All my best friends vomit kibbles and bits onto the linoleum. All my best friends fuck in the streets. All my best friends beg for treats with their genitalia exposed. And most of all of my best friends kill chicken in barnyards, you know. You know, I think Jim Morrison, he died too young. I think if he had been a real Irishman, he'd be 90 years old by now, because instead of like singing rock and roll, he would have sang Irish songs. So this is Jim Morrison as Irishman. Oh, the time to hesitate is through, no time to wander with the mire. And if you're not careful, I will set your head on fire. Oh, it's over the hill in the poorhouse, over the hill and far away. And if you're not careful, I will set your head ablaze. Oh, well, it's too bad. Poor guy. I can do an impression for you. Doris Day. You like that one, don't you? I have a question. Has anyone ever taken on the immense power which advertising has to engineer our desires? I will, right after these words from our sponsors. Feel like shit? Chew excrement. Excrement. Priests, do you have the smell of choir boy on your breath? Get rid of that fast. With sacrament. My God's bigger than your God. My God's bigger than yours. My God's bigger because he eats eternity ration. If you, like most Americans, have a household God, be sure and feed it plenty of eternity ration. And now, this word for Mafia health insurance. Mafia health insurance. Because you wouldn't want anything to happen now, would you? Hey, would you? Employers, hire the veteran. Most employers prefer to hire veterans. Why? Because veterans have guns, and they know how to use them. Hi, America. Do you, like most Americans, have a gigantic undead thing shackled to a chain in your basement? Feed them Frankenstein chow and We Belong Dead mix. Frankenstein asks for it by name. We Belong Dead mix. Are you sick of placebos that make your stomach feel heavy? Are you tired of placebo bloat? Well, try Placebo Light. Only half the inert ingredients and fillers of regular placebos, and it does less than nothing, because it's Placebo Light. And now this word for anti-ivory soap. It's black, it stinks like shit, it sinks to the bottom of the fucking tub, but it's really good for your skin. Anti-ivory soap. Now I'd like to tell you about an exciting new nightclub. Are you sick of going to places that have country and western, jazz, rock and roll, reggae? Come to Abo Hut, where we play the didgeridoo until the dingoes howl. Abo Hut. Koalas, please use the servants' entrance. No eucalyptus leaf chewing on premises, please. We accept MasterCard, Visa, and most major spearheads and dingo pelts. Come to our dwarf tossing contest and watch us throw a real shrimp onto the Barbie. Only at Abawat, because you'll go waltzing Matilda with us at Abohut. Are you tired of going to Purity Supreme? Well, have we got news for you. It's so exciting, I've got to take a drink of water before I tell you about it. We're opening up a new store right across the street from Purity Supreme called Filthy Midget Mart. That smell of mildew that hits you in a blast as you enter the door means that we don't clean our store, and so that translates into extra savings for you, only at Filthy Midget Mart, right across the street from Purity Supreme. Is that a pile of compost? No, it's our produce section, because we don't believe in frills at Filthy Midget Mart. Careful with that pineapple, it might be a real hand grenade, only at Filthy Midget Mart. Those weeds growing out of the sidewalk, that's our floral department, only at Filthy Midget Mart. Our poultry is still fresh. It's so fresh, it's still walking around. If you consider pigeons poultry, only at Filthy Midget Mart. Are you looking to buy bread, milk, eggs?
We don't sell that stuff, but we do have the largest selection of chewing tobacco, snuff, and prosthetic jaws on the East Coast, only at Filthy Midget Mart. Now, we don't sell powder puffs and foo-foo water. We sell caged gorillas and Mr. Filth, only at Filthy Midget Mart. We don't ask you as you come to the checkout counter whether you want paper or plastic. We just throw the shit at your head. That's why we got the fastest checkout lines in the business, only at Filthy Midget Mart. Well, gosh, I can see that you guys are having the setup already, but I just might be able to finish this, even though I'm running over, and I thank you for not pressuring me to finish my presentation. Take your time. Well, all right. I'll be done in about 45 minutes. Make yourself at home. Set a spell. No, I should be done any minute. I'm not going to say which minute. That's what any minute means. Now, it's okay if you sit up around me, but shh. Sign language. Politics. You know what I think? Hey, perk up there, chum. Politics is sports for people who are too fat to run. Okay? Keep that in mind. They're still wondering about who killed Kennedy. I'll tell you who killed Kennedy. I didn't. But I was only 6 years old at the time, and Oswald had to help me aim. He put me up on some Texas school books, got that Marshino rifle, and sort of did the bolt action for me, and I squeezed the trigger. Nice guy, that Lee Harvey. Pity what happened to him, though. That Jack Ruby was a real scheming shit. I hated him. Boy, I tell you. Greasy. Well, you know, I think that there are only 3 classes of individuals. There's the movers, the shakers, and the trolls. See if you can guess which one I am. This belly will be a net giveaway. Hey, what about that Zhirinovsky, huh? Hey, what about that Zhirinovsky? Yeah, real sweetheart, huh? Yeah, I'll tell you, this guy makes Bozo the Clown look like Henry Kissinger. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, you know this Zhirinovsky guy, you know what he is? He's a cross between David Duke and Sid Vicious. You know, that's what he is. So that's just the way you gotta think about it, okay? And you know what happened to Sid Vicious, huh? So, we're not gonna have Zhirinovsky to kick around anymore, no? So, I resent it when people call me a crypto-fascist. You know why? Crypto is the name of Superman's dog. And I hate Superman because he called his dog Crypto. What kind of name is that to call your dog? Do I call my dog Earth-O? You know? So, I mean, think about this. You know what really gets me? All of the victimizers who masquerade as victims when they get caught. You know? Like Bobby Ray Inman. Like, I'm a victim of the media. This is McCarthyism. Throwing slurs and unsubstantiated allegations against my enemies. That's McCarthyism. That's what it is. Oh, I'm doing it? Well, it's okay if I do it because I'm a victim. Or Clarence Thomas, you know? This is a high-tech lynching. You know? So what if I want to rescind the Constitution? It's a high-tech lynching. Or Oliver North, you know? It's like, sure I broke the law, but I was a victim. They made me do it. I was only doing my job. You know why people believe in Ollie North? He's got a gap between his teeth, and people think he's sincere because he never got his teeth fixed, you know? It's a good trick to know. Most rock and roll stars know it too. Don't get your teeth fixed, you'll lose street credibility. So, even when you make it big. You know, in Wales, they want to tear down all those ugly windmills, and they want to build cool nuclear power plants instead. I say, right on, yeah. I'll tell you, because what's the worst thing that can happen with a windmill? It falls down. Worst thing that can happen with a nuclear power plant? No more whales. Oh well. There goes the Welsh language. There goes Welsh rarebit. There goes half of Europe for that matter. Hey Steve, you know what the maquiladoras? They're these factories that the United States builds on the border between Mexico and the United States. And they're like, they can hire Mexican labor at 50 cents an hour instead of paying Americans like $15 an hour. And now the maquiladoras are moving to the south of Mexico. And there's some hotheads who insist that there's no such thing as progress. I'll tell you. It's a shame. You know what I think? I think the United States should be the 11th Canadian province. Because the Canadians have better phone service, less crime, and a rational health care policy. So instead of making them the 51st state, we should be the 11th province. That's what I think. And now this word for Malcolm X-ray specs. Malcolm X-ray specs enable you to see through white hypocrisy. So get them now. See. All these problems, Bosnia, all these wars, Eritrea, we could solve all the wars in 1 minute with the Junkie Expeditionary Force. Don't ship guns to countries at war, ship drugs. Okay. Hey, are you an economist? You are? Are you? The Dow? You mean the Dow Jing or the Dow Jones Industrials? Mao Zedong? Don't talk dirty. Okay. Well, listen, you know, there's nothing worse than being married to an unemployed economist. Because, you know, not only is he unemployed, but he can tell you why. But he can't get a job. Hey, can I get some rim shots here? Cool. I think that grade school is a hospital where they amputate your imagination. I am a follower of the Greek philosopher Centipodes. He has 1,000 legs, and I don't have a leg to stand on. There's one good thing about earthquakes. The word judders is now back in fashion. Okay, now I guess I'm going to wrap this up. I'm not going to do everything, but I am going to wrap this up by, yes, the top 10 reasons why you should be glad that you're getting old. Now, all of you guys, I think, will like this, you know, because this is like useful advice. The top 10 reasons why you should be glad you're getting old. Well, reason number 10, you're too weak to be angry. Reason number 9, nobody says they don't like your attitude. Reason number 8, you open locked doors with a credit card instead of a chisel. Reason number 7, you're more willing to see if doing nothing will work. Reason number 6, you use a crowbar instead of a hammer. Reason number 5, you use glue instead of a nail. Reason number 4, a soft innuendo works better than a loud threat. Reason number 3, instead of saying you're obnoxious, people say you're cantankerous. Reason number 2, instead of being cynical, people say you're curmudgeonly. And the number 1 reason for being glad that you're growing old, you get a reputation for being a good listener because you're too tired to talk anymore. And that just about describes me at this point. Hi, I'm the Wrong Hero. This has been my presentation of Stigma, and I'm too tired to talk anymore because you are beginning to bore me. Because you make me nervous. Because you're evil. 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 the Wrong Hero.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I've called you here today to make a very important announcement. Namely, I forget. You can all go home now. I'm the Wrong Hero, and you can call me the sweetheart of Stigma, a.k.a, because the name of today's sequence is, in fact, Stigma. Now, I'm very short on time, so I will give you an introduction. Are you having it good? I had the hardest time getting a funny thing on the way over here. My car. What about that? A big hand for, hi, how are you? Yeah, all right. Hi, how are you? Nice day, isn't it? Once upon a, has it ever occurred to you? Me either. That makes two of us. Another thing, thank. Now what? You're a great. Well, hi, I'm the Wrong Hero. If my mouth is gaping open, it is because I am an eager ant longing to gobble the crumbs of laughter from your fat table. Because I am an entertainer. And no entertainer ever made money, by claiming to be disgusted by the disgusting habits and stupidity of his audience. And I'm not about to be the first to try. Hey, you must be the famous crowd I heard so much about. Hey, fella, like the cap. Hey, you're into sports, aren't you? No, you're into heavy machinery. Okay, I get it. What's that thing on your cap say? Harlord? I can't read, you see.
Reverend Horton Heat.
Reverend, well, oh, you stole his t-shirt. That's why he won't be here anymore for the next several years.
That's right.
Until we get too big for him to turn down. Hey, it's a nice hat you're wearing. I like the color-coded ensemble. What are you, a sky hop? Okay, solid, brilliant.
Rastafari.
Oh, I get it. Okay, red and black, communism and
red, gold, and green.
Oh,
blood, gold.
okay.
For the riches and the green for the land.
Hi, how are you fine folks today? I'm so glad you showed up. I'm not even going to riff on you. That's how grateful I am. That's a nice green sweater. What is this, like the Charlie Brown early modern look, you know? All you need is a little vertical stripe running across the belly, and man, oh man, you'll be up there on the comic pages. Well, so, anyway, yes. You know, you guys aren't as big as you look on television. You know, I have a kid at home, a 3-year-old kid who writes funnier jokes than you. Man, I'll tell you, I could have been just like you if only I'd had your breaks. Kissed a few asses, you know, made a few deals, greased a few palms. I'd be down there today if only I'd done all these things. Well, and now I would like to do my pantomime.
You ever see Thurston Howell III doing this? No, not on a bet. But in every blue-collar neighborhood in the United States, hey! Hey, Frank! Frank! Frank, come here! Come here, Frank! Frank! I want to tell you a secret! Come here! Never fails. But you know, you never forget your roots, and I'm Frank. Yeah, what do you want? I gotta tell you a secret! Well, what is it? Well, I can't tell you all these people around here. Come here! Okay, I'll stand 15 feet away. You can yell your secret to me. Frank, your zipper's open! Kennywood's open! Oh, hey, thanks! Thanks, pal! It doesn't matter, man, because I always wear 2 pairs of underwear so my hog doesn't fly out when I'm talking to my mom or the nuns, you know? So don't worry about it, okay? Okay, solid. Oh, hi, I'm the wrong hero, and I have this question to ask. What comedian is going to stand up and fight against the awful power that advertising exerts on our everyday lives? I will be the one right after these words from our sponsor. This presentation of The Wrong Hero is brought to you by the penis. Strong enough for a man,
Made for a woman.
but made for a woman. But men like it too. And by Cosa Nostra condoms. Put them on, because it's our thing. Or do you want a little trouble? And by Einstein's Readers. Come to Einstein's Readers. Our service is faster than the speed of light. In fact, we hand you your order before you even open your mouth. And watch out if you ask for a hot dog with everything, because according to the laws of physics, of course, that's theoretically impossible at Einstein's Readers. This presentation of The Wrong Hero is also brought to you by Mr. Cesspool. We carry the gray poop on, Mr. Cesspool. And by Liquid Bummer. We called your drug up, but good. And by Vise Out. Are you tired of being the only clear-eyed individual in a group of your degenerate friends? Try Vise Out. It gets the red in. Vise Out. And by Solo X. Possessed by devils, try our home exorcism machine, Solo X. The priests and nuns and neighbors may never know that you are actually possessed by Lucifer, Lucifer, I'm in love with... This won't happen when you have Solo X, home exorcism machine. This presentation of The Wrong Hero is also brought to you by Mr. Deepak Chopra for Happy Molecules. You know, you too can live to be 150 years old if you have happy molecules. That's right. Oh, happy molecules. You ever see a little fly rubbing his hands together? Why does he do that? He's not rubbing shit off of his hands. It's because he has happy molecules. Have you ever seen 2 flies in the middle of the air going around and around? That's not because they are making little flies, which are maggots. No, it's because they have happy molecules. And now, a serious note. This word for Save the Termites, featuring Sally Struthers. These termites have never eaten! They've never eaten! Do you understand? But for only 3 cents a day, you can teach them to read and write so they can get a job and go to college and understand what they're eating when they devour your library. Only at Save the Termites. But please hurry. They're devouring our headquarters. We must also mention in this brief time that we have that our sponsors are malt liquor, pancake syrup, chocolate-flavored laxatives, canned cream, corn, oven cleaner, clinked peaches and heavy syrup, and sugar-free Jell-O in a drum.
Next time you have party guests over, be sure and give them malt liquor, pancake syrup, chocolate-flavored laxatives, canned cream, corn, oven cleaner, clean peaches and heavy syrup, and sugar-free Jell-O in a drum. There's something for everybody when you serve malt liquor, pancake syrup, chocolate-flavored laxatives, canned cream, corn, oven cleaner, clean peaches and heavy syrup, and sugar-free Jell-O in a drum. And now, friends, I would like to ask you a very important question. Hi, this is the North-South Gospel Hour, and now I'd like to introduce Reverend Hoxie, our main guest speaker for today.
Friends, 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 do you know what the most important book of the Bible is?
Well, I don't either, but it just might be the book of Revelations. I don't know.
But the Bible says that we must invite Jesus.
Whoa, this is hell on my neck.
Into our life.
Well, actually, only the New Testament says that. There is no mention of the Messiah in the Old Testament, at least not the Messiah as it pertains to Jesus.
We must invite Jesus into your life. We must invite Jesus into your life.
I invited Jesus into my home. Man, was I ever glad to get rid of him. I mean, no offense. He left his face on all the towels. He walked up the shower nozzle. He gave away my coin collection. He turned all the bath water into Manischewitz. And he came in naked and bleeding and said he lost his robe in a dice game. So I put him on a plane. He wouldn't get on it though. He said the pilot was Pontius Pilate.
You got the wrong guy.
I won't tell you the rest of this. It's far too controversial. You know what?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. We want
Okay. He wouldn't get on the plane, so he flew there. And he complained the whole way about how the jet stream was whistling through the holes in his hands. So, anyway, I'm tired of boring old hard-shell Baptist Christianity. No. It's too easy to tolerate. How's about staid, upscale, Episcopalian Christianity? The kind where you go to church and they give you pâté on your communion wafer, and they invite you to wash it down with a little Nouveau Bourgeois. So that's the kind of upscale experience I'm seeking. You know what I can't understand? Anglicans. Anglicans think they're smarter than Catholics. What a distinction. Well, ask yourself this. When you die and go to heaven, who would you rather see? Jesus Christ our Lord and Savior? Or the founding father of Anglicanism, Henry VIII, a bearded glutton who slew 5 of his 8 wives, huh? Not much of a choice there, folks. Door number 1, door number 2, or limbo. I'll take door number 3. Yes, I'm an agnostic. And I believe that there, but for the grace of I don't know who and I'm not sure, goes you or I. That can go right past your head, you know, if you don't pay close attention. When I die, now listen closely, this is amateuristic, even though I've never tried it out before. When I die, I want my dog to bury me. Because I wouldn't want him to think I deserted him. In fact, I wouldn't mind if he pulled the casket, but he's a Chihuahua. Had to get some Great Danes in there, you know. Maybe have a St. Bernard with a little accordion on his back and a little Chihuahua. I'd like that, you know. You know, when people say it's raining cats and dogs, it makes me wonder, do the cats and dogs resolve their differences on the way down? Like,
It sure does, kitty.
What do you say we let bygones be bygones?
Okay with me, kitty.
By the way, Poochie, here's that $5 eye. Thank you, yes.
Yes, all right.
A little bit of applause wouldn't be out of place there for that prize-winning presentation, which has crowned the wild heads of Europe and vice versa. Well, but you know, I don't have to talk to you. I've spoken to a crowd of 4,000. Okay, it was an anthill. Don't get technical on me, okay?
Go away.
I had this friend and he sold me a 1979 Malibu. It was one of those things where if you get the air hose and you put it in the back of the car, you can make the car, you can pump the car up. It had air suspension and stuff. This mafioso was saying, "Hey, when are you gonna hurry up with that air hose? Oh, I gotta put some air in my tires." So I just whipped out that little air hose and stuck it in the back of the car and stood there glaring at him as the car went until it was swollen up to the size of a monster truck. And then he said, "Hey, nice car you got there." I only had that car for 3 weeks though. There was a whole bunch of stuff wrong with it, and I just like drove it. You know, Shakespeare says, when beggars learn to mount, they ride the horse to death. You know, and it was my first car, and I just rode it to death. And but I remember when he sold it to me, you know, he said, "This car is great. It's a Malibu, 1979. It's got a V8." And I said, "What's that rust hole there on the side of the driver's side there?" And that's $500 worth of damage. And he said, "That's not a rust hole. That's a cat door. I should charge you extra for that." And I said, "Well, what's this red fluid dripping out of the transmission?" And he said, "I told you it was a V8." You know, so I said to myself, wow, I could have had a V8, but I didn't because, you know, as you know, I sort of just destroyed it. And I ended up in Walpole. Don't ever break down in Walpole. Where do you suppose all those people who were in the penitentiary go after they get out of prison? Well, my parole officer says I can't leave the state, and I don't know anything except fixing cars. I'll open up a little garage, that's right. An automobile graveyard, a tourist web, you know, like, you are coming closer to Walpole, junk car capital of Massachusetts. Be careful, and there's always policemen. Whenever you're driving past Walpole, slow down, 60 miles an hour, because there's always policemen out there, because, you know, we all know they're kind of like a little bit lazy, and they figure, hell, I'll pop this guy, he's speeding, what's this? Outstanding traffic warrant? Boom, straight to the penitentiary, forget it. I'm not going to take you to Roxbury Station, man, it's just the pen for you, pal. So, don't ever, you know, this is actually serious, slow down when you're going through Walpole, because there's always a cop there. I mean, he doesn't always catch you, mind, but he's always there. Oh yeah, there was another thing I wanted to tell you about driving. Always be careful if the man in front of you is wearing a hat. A baseball cap is okay. That's got its drawbacks too. But at least he's not going to do 45 in the passing lane. If anything, he's going to do 95. Be careful if he's behind you. Be careful of the old duffer with the gray hat with the sweatband and a little fishing fly stuck in it. Just be careful of this dude, man. Because like, he's not going to be able to stay in his lane. He's not going to keep his speed steady. He ought to be in the slow lane, but no. You know, I don't want to be in the slow lane. Those oncoming cars might run into me. I don't want to be in the middle lane either. Well, because everybody's always going past me like, so I'll just drive in the fast lane. That way nobody has to go around me, except that they pass me on the left, and then a policeman will stop them. So be careful, men with hats. I'm serious. I really am. I guess I worry a bit too much about the manners of other people and a little too little about my own manners. In fact, sometimes I catch myself singing a little song to people who are exhibiting bad manners. Like somebody who's blocking the sidewalk, you know, when there's snow on the ground. Like I'm behind him and I'm sort of barely audibly singing, "Dum-de-dum-de-dum, I'm an ignoramus who's blocking the sidewalk because I'm too ignorant to move over and let people pass. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum." You know, It gets louder and louder as I get older and older and less afraid, you know. So one of these days I'm just gonna, poo, are you singing about poo? You know, so anyway, I'm the Wrong Hero, and this is comedy in its cheap, smokable form. You know, I have a question about potheads. Why do they put them in prison? I mean, aren't they already kind of like, you know, housebound a little bit, you know? I mean, you know, you don't see them out there in the Olympics and stuff. I mean, the way to punish a pothead for smoking pot would be to lock him in a room with a pound of weed, man, and no matches, no pipe, no papers, you know.
Got eggs, Sal?
Got eggs for no, but I'll tell you something. People on drugs notice everything. You ever notice this? Like, nice wart. It glitters. You know, so I had to stop doing it. And you never hear people saying, hey man, get a hit of this air. It'll oxygenate your brain for you, man. Oh man, this is the best O2 I've ever had. Here, put a little hit of oxygen in here, make it O3, make it a little ozone. Ooh, man. Suck that stuff deep down into your lungs. Just keep that air in there. Now let it out real slow. So good. You don't even need papers, you know. You just get a hit of that air. Well, because, you know, you got to be sharp if you're going to go for a job interview. You know, like you have to abstain from smoking weed for, at least 6 or 8 months, you know. I mean, if you've had it in the last month, you might do something like this. Like I went for this job interview and there were 3 people interviewing me, which is, you know, of course that means one of them is mean, one of them is nice, and one of them is neutral. And they start out, you know, they try to disorient you. They start you out with the mean guy. The mean guy says, have you ever been arrested? And you go, yeah, by my great talent. And then the neutral one goes, do you have any experience? And you go, yeah, Jimi Hendrix experience, down here. And the nice one goes, do you have any hobbies? Yeah, being interrogated by fascist pigs, man. And then the mean one goes, what is your greatest weakness? Drugs. Got any? Just asking. I don't really want them, you know. I'm just asking. It's for a sick friend, you know. It's medicine, all right. You know, I'm working on a cover letter, and it would be something like, hey, dear, you know, misspellings and all, preferably written in crayon, just to keep the unemployment people off my back. You have to apply for 3 jobs a week. Hey, dear fat man, you're sitting pretty in a no-show government slacker, pen-pushing, backwoods legislature, sinecure type job. I want that job. You can go out and fill out your unemployment form in 4 different colors of ink, and maybe you'll get disability. I want your job, you hear? I want your job here.
Want the keys?
The keys, no thanks. Wow, that would be the keys to the kinkdom, you know? So, I applied for a job in a circus as an India rubber man. They said, when can you start? And I said, I'm flexible. Yeah, that's a charming one. What did the fire eater say to his wife? Is it hot in here or is it just me? See, that one never gets a laugh. I don't know why. I had a job as a security guard, you know, and one time somebody was getting mugged off in the parking lot and he yelled, guard, guard! I didn't know what they wanted, so I said, yuppie, yuppie! I don't know. I'll tell you something. You know who we should kill? I mean, I'm a gentleman, you know. I would never harm an animal larger than myself. But you know who we should kill? Farmers. Farmers are a conspiracy. Have you ever thought of this? They control the nation's food supply. And besides, you know, here's what they do. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. I'm master of 40 acres and a spavined mule, and I've got an awful lot to be proud about now. Dum-de-dum-de-dum.
You know, here I am shackled to a rusted tractor, too old to get off the farm, too young to die, I don't know, be a farmer and work with dirt. You know, it's not a job, it's a goddamn ordeal. You know, an ad for farmers. Or, you know, be an archaeologist. Dig for stuff the Indians left here 450 years ago. Trash that even the Indians didn't want. Spend 15 hours in the broiling sun digging for the stuff that the Indians, the naked Aborigines, threw away. Yeah, it's at the forefront, it's the cutting edge of adventure. Archaeology. You know, I have a fiancée. We've been affianced for going on 5 years now. It's going to be common law pretty soon. And then hell, I'll save the $100 for the minister, you know. And it's the way to go. But I'm still working on my pickup lines just in case, you know. Like, I got a good one for Harvard Square. It's like, hi there, miss. You know, my favorite line in Hamlet is in Act 4 when he says, what? Can you help me with this? What does Hamlet say in Act 4? It's something along the lines of, oh yes, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge. That one knocks me out. Doesn't it knock you out too, huh? And in Central Square, a good pickup line, you know, you go to one of these sleazy bars 2 doors down the street. A good pickup line in there is, doctor says if I have one more drink, I'm gonna kill myself. Bottoms up, little lady. Oh. Let's see, in Jamaica Plain. You guys from Jamaica Plain? Nah, you wouldn't come all the way out here for this. Well, when you in Jamaica Plain?
Hyde Park.
Hyde Park. I don't have one for Hyde Park, but for JP. I only watch television shows written by American Indians. Don't you? You know, and, oh yeah, in Brookline, my mother doesn't understand me. And in the North End, the Italian North End, and I can get away with this because I'm Italian. It's like, hey, I think you and me were together in a past life. As a matter of fact, I think you owed me money in a past life, you know? So, fork it over, okay? Never lend loan shark money to women because you can't break their arms to collect. That's my motto. Yeah, so I don't do it. When I have a kid, I think I'll call him. That way, every time I'm clearing my throat, I'm also calling him, you know? We're like, yes, Daddy? Go to bed now. You know, I get up in the morning. You know, hi, Daddy. You call me? No, go back to bed. It's 4 in the morning, you know. So I want to do that. I live in Central Square, and I'm going to tell you something right now. If I find the bum who spits like a nickel, I'll kick his ass, okay? I'm tired of this stuff. Oh, and when I moved into my apartment, I said, hey, nice kitchen. I see they painted it yellow. Oh, no. The guy that used to live here smoked a lot, that's all, you know? So I rented it anyway. It's kind of a dangerous neighborhood. I live over Hi-Fi Pizza. I got a little note next to my alarm clock. Dear burglar, if you shoot me in my sleep, please turn off the alarm so the lady upstairs doesn't complain. Sincerely, the wrong hero. The people next door to me, they're Scientologists. They have 3 jobs, you know. I saw one of them carrying a guitar. Turns out he begs for spare change on the subway while he's on the way to his 3rd job, you know. I mean, they're ruthless. And one time I had about 15 hours to kill, so I asked him, hey, who was this guy, L. Ron Hubbard, anyway, huh? You know, so that can be nice and busy. I want to start my own church, actually. It's quite a racket. It's going to be called the Church of Landfill. And it'll meet every Sunday at the city dump, and all the poor people will get down on their knees, you know, searching for something. I don't know what. I'm looking for something. Why do poor people go to church? Isn't 5 days a week on your knees enough? You know, do they have to have a 6th day too? And of course, you know, on Saturday they're probably scrubbing their floor or buffing
their rattle trap, you know. So, I mean, 7 days a week on your knees. It's about 7 days too much. Hey, you see, all of a sudden, Irish movies are very, very popular. You ever see My Left Foot? Well, I got one. My Ass. You ever watch Seinfeld? It's on at the same time as my show, so I hate him. You know what bugs me about Seinfeld? It's funny and everything. The writing is top-notch. In fact, I went to college with some of those people, so I know exactly where they get their ideas from. Me! That annoying bass, it lends an annoying patina of pseudo-hipness to the proceedings, which totally ruins the show for me. It's not enough that they got like all these great writers and stuff, you know, like look at Saddam Hussein, you know. So I don't know. I just don't like that. I'm gonna combine Jurassic Park and Schindler's List and make a movie called Dinosaurs Are Not Kosher. You know? It's a high concept because you don't even have to see the film. You know what it's about just from the title, and you know how it ends too. It ends with the line, "They could feed the entire world. Yes, my son, but dinosaurs are not kosher." It would all be in black and white except the part where the dinosaur eats the lawyer. That would be like blood red, you know? So, there you go. I want to do a remake of that show, Gentle Ben. I want to update it for the 90s, set it in the big city and call it Garbage Bear, you know? I think that would work out. Like, from the heights of Mount Washington to the big city of Portland, Maine, here he is, Garbage Bear, you know? He certainly isn't gentle. Or how's about Spider Bear? You know, like, when his uncle Gentle Ben was killed by a burglar, this cute little bear cub became Spider Bear. You know, I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with bears, I'm telling you. I want to update the Andy Griffith show. It was the top-rated show. Strangely enough, it was the top-rated show after Andy Mayberry left it. I don't know why that is. I guess because everybody loved the supporting ensemble. The barber who had a stroke and continued on the show for 2 seasons. You know, Aunt Bee, who I believe ran for Senate in Pennsylvania and lost. Or maybe that was Nancy Culp of the Beverly Hillbillies. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Nancy ran for Senate and Jed did not endorse her. Well, I trust her with my money, but not to run the country. So I'm going to do this update. It's called Mayberry 2000. It's like, Andy, what's this little black ball in Opie's pockets? Well, that there's opium, ain't Pete? Why do you think we call him Opie? He's been strung out for 16 years. It's like, say, Aunt B, I think somebody's been running around with Helen. Now, what do you suppose I ought to do about it? You suppose it was Barney? Oh, no, Andy. He has venereal disease. You know that little bullet he carries in his pocket? That's the silver bullet. That's penicillin. That's the magic bullet. Well, I'm going to go down to the barbershop and see if Floyd knows anything about it. Floyd, you know, something's been puzzling me. I think my girlfriend might be pregnant. And, you know, I ain't had no sex with her, so I'm wondering, who could it have been, Floyd? Who could it have been? Oh, Andy. Because, you know, it wouldn't have been Goober. You know, I mean, he can't even read or write and tie his own shoes. So, can you see him picking up some girl in a bar? I got filth under my fingernails from last week. Want a drink? So, I don't know. It just wouldn't work, I guess. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Gomer Pyle for Preparation H. I know. Jim Nabors he's got that liver thing he needs a transplant. I'm not picking on him. I've been doing this for years, and you know, I like him. He's great. My Nazi cousin used to watch Gomer Pyle every damn day. It was in syndication, and you know, he would get a minor erection from that Marine Corps thing at the beginning. You know, and his arm would sort of like Dr. Strange, like, down, boy, down. But this is Gomer Pyle for Preparation H.
Pile! You call me Sergeant? No, it's these hemorrhoids! Oh, why don't you try Preparation H? Preparation H? Okay, I'll give it a whirl. 2 days later, hey, pal, for once you're right, it really worked. Surprise, surprise, surprise. No more hemorrhoids for me. Shazam. I couldn't get into something distasteful about how Jim Nabors is repeatedly married to Rock Hudson. You know, but I don't,
Let's hear it.
yeah, there was a rumor that Jim Nabors was married to Rock Hudson. There was even this guy, this cartoonist down in New York, and drew a picture of it. And you know, of course, they had their wedding with a Marine Guard, and Sergeant Carter had a little tear going down the side of his face while it was going on. I don't know. Gays in the military? No. But mentally retarded people? Fine. You know, that's cool. Right. When I was a kid, I wanted to grow up to be a peasant. Just like the rest of my family. And it looks like I'm getting my wish, too. You know, my mother used to read to me. She used to read a little fairy tale. The 3 little kittens have lost their mittens and don't know where to find them. And I'd say to her, Mom, kittens wearing mittens? Kittens wearing mittens? Kittens wearing mittens? What kind of crazy nightmare world is this you brought me into? What are they made out of? Their fur? No, I can't stand it! Why wasn't I born on Mars? And my dad, he'd say, son, build a better mousetrap, and the world will beat a path to your door. And I'd say to him, Dad, wouldn't it be cheaper and easier to get construction workers to do it? You know, $17 an hour, but okay, you know. Give them some amphetamine and get the job done in 15 minutes. Man, you know. Yeah, my dad, it's a funny thing about dads. You know, he had me when he was like 20, and now he's about 48, and he's trying to be hip. So he tries to pretend to like the music that I like. Hey, son, what's that record you got on? Sounds pretty good. It's called The Dishwasher Dad. Okay? And I'd like to do an impression for you. Shh, 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 shh. Laurie Anderson. Thank you. Thank you. And now, my impression of Elvis in his off-stage identity.
Hey, how come you didn't give him the bill to sleep
The scene, Elvis's bathroom.
last week? Yeah. You didn't give it to him? You didn't give it to him. You're the one that signed for it. I didn't sign.
Shit my pants.
Well, last week I did. Yeah. And the bill said you didn't get it.
Colonel Parker swindled me half of my money.
This Little Red Wagon they used to
Ma, don't take them diet pills. I love you just the way you are. Don't do it, Ma. Daddy, if I want to throw diamond rings into the front row of the audience, that's my business. Oh hell, man. I got too much of this heroin. Can't. Yeah, I've been constipated for 6 months. I guess I'll go and get a loaf of Italian bread and put some bacon grease on it and a jar of peanut butter and about 15 toasted marshmallows, yeah. Oh, and a nice 2 pounds of bacon. Hey, cook, the usual. Make it a double. I haven't eaten in 2 minutes. So, yeah, that's Elvis. I want to be the 4th Beatle. You know, they're saying Tom Petty, Julian Lennon. Yoko Ono is the 4th leader, you know, Beatle. I want to hold your hand. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. You know, Mama's really looking for her hand in this hole. Well, she'd be a good sideshow attraction to on the Lollapalooza tour, you know. Like, watch the bag twitch. But I want to be the 4th Beatle because I was already in a band called the Street Beatles. We were a bunch of homeless people that covered Beatles songs in our own inimitable fashion. Like, I want to hold your purse. And a taste of vomit. Tasted much sweeter than bile. I know. I will. I forget. So I think I should be the 4th Beatle. Maybe I'll go into. I'll do a rock and roll ice cream parlor.
And I'll invent rock and roll flavors like petroleum jelly and rust. And I'll call it Neil Young, you know? I'll tell you, Dad, he tries to be hip, but he has this little book of aphorisms that he reads from. He goes in the bathroom, memorizes it, comes out, spouts off like a fount of wisdom. Son, getting married, are you? Hey, why buy a cow if milk is cheap? And I say to him, Dad, why buy anything if you're sturdy enough to beg? Huh? You know, you gotta one-up the old man with the cynical pessimism there. To get one over on him. Hey kid, I noticed you're getting bald. Well, it's male pattern baldness and it's hereditary, Dad. So there. Hey Dad, hey kid, putting on a little weight, aren't you? Well Dad, no thanks to you. You know, anyway, I want to build, you know, my father, he says, build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. I want to build a door-shaped mousetrap so the mice, no wait a minute, let's see. I want to build a door-shaped mousetrap so the mice, let's see, so the mice will beat a path to my world? I don't know. I'm not sure how that goes. I have a lot of pet peeves, but my biggest one is people who use the word peeve. You know? What kind of word is that? It's sort of like, tutti frutti, and, I'm Julia Child. My pet peeve is people who put tarragon in the veal stew without tasting it first. Put just a pinch of tarragon in the veal stew before you cook it. So, you know what I say to people who meditate?
What?
Sit down and shut up. Or is that redundant?
Yes, it's redundant.
I think maybe they should advertise autism. Autism, a game that one can play. A game that one must play. A game that play one must. I love autism. I love my autism so much I sit and hug myself when I think about it. Ah, yes. You know, it's going to be tax time pretty soon, and I think I'm going to send the IRS a picture of money, and on the back of it I'm going to write, this is a picture of the money that would have been yours if you had had the decency to treat me with one grain of human dignity and respect. But since you did not, you can get a whistle for your money, you tin horn chiselers. Of course, I'm not going to sign my name to it. No. So, why should gays be in the military? Why should anybody be in the military, huh? Huh? You know? It's like, oh yeah, the benefits, like toxic waste, you know? Like, hey, the barracks are built on toxic waste. This is great. I got something to say to the grandchildren, you know, with 3 years, you know? So here's another thing. WBCN has been promoting Cinco de Mayo, the Mexican Independence Day. We stole half their country, and now we're trying to steal their Independence Day. Do they have no shame at all? Remember that next time the 5th of May comes around, you know. So, I'm the wrong hero, and I'm in a quandary, which is like a laundry that's run by ducks. Smart people buy into the system. Dumb people cloud their minds with cheap poisons. Where does that leave me, huh? I don't know. But now here's something that really gets me. Does that echo mean that I only have about 7 minutes left? Okay. 7 minutes. So, journalists have. What is this? Super Hell Station. It's going to take longer than 7 minutes if you keep doing that. Journalists want to tell the government what to do. And yet, they write for mass circulation periodicals that peddle cigarettes and alcohol to school children. That's a great way to run the government, you know. Hey kids, drink light beer. Drink 3 cans of it and you won't get whiskey dick like stupid old dad. Light beer, 3 beers, you won't fall off the swing set with light beer. Hey kids,
Smoke this ultralight mentholated super slim 120 cigarette. It's like sucking carbon monoxide through a straw. You'll love it though, or at least after 6 months, you won't have any choice, you know. So there you go. I would like to be a journalist now and solve all the world's crises in 8 seconds or less. Does anybody have a world crisis for me to solve?
Haiti.
Haiti? Change the name to Lovey.
All right. Yes, I.
Any others? Bosnia? Let Russia move in there and give them something to do.
Yes. Yes.
Ditto Yugoslavia. If Yugoslavia could build a decent car, we'd be in there in 5 seconds flat protecting it, you know?
How about Israel?
Israel, 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 Israel.
Well, I thought the Bible said promised land, not promised continent. You know? So,
Easy, watch it now.
it's okay to talk about them stinking Dagos and thick mix and
What
stupid...
about America?
Oh.
What's the biggest problem?
The biggest problem in America is crime. So I say, summary executions on the street. Not 3 strikes you're out, not 2 strikes you're out. You even think about parking here, you're dead meat, buster, you know? I mean, well, that's Judge Dredd, a futuristic comic book published by people in Great Britain. It imagines a world in which policemen have gone wild and, in fact, execute people for parking in no parking zones. So, yes, I don't know. That's the solving world crises in 8 seconds, and I'm going to make this a regular feature of my show, I think, if I ever have another show again. You know why I'm a comedian? I flunked metal shop. You know why I flunked? Because I used to get the solder and make little solder men and pretend they were the teacher and crush them in a vice grip. You know, it's like, you know, I'll give you an A, I'll give you an A, oh God! You know, so. In fact, that's sort of what I'm doing right now, if you think about it, making little solder men crushing with that vice grip, except the winding motion, you know, it's missing somehow. So that'll also be a part of my repertoire. Hey, folks! You know, I was talking to my agent today. I don't have an agent. This is just for the purpose of, you know, segueing into the joke. He said, hey, Wrong Hero, baby, I love you. How's the family? I'm not married. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. You're part of my family. I love you. I love your family. I love your dog. I love your wife. I love your kids. I know you're not married, but I love you anyway. I love the dog you're going to have, the wife, the kids you're going to have someday when you make it big. I totally respect you. I totally respect your art and your act. Your act. Wrong Hero. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny how people don't laugh. You know? So, anyway. I'd like to talk about my first drink. Last week I said that I had my first drink from a barrel that a St. Bernard brought me. That's not strictly true. I had my first drink when I was stranded on a desert island, and I found this bottle, and it had some wine in it. And so, well, I decided to send a message in a bottle. Shut up over there, thank you. And no, second warning, please be quiet, quiet, quiet. Okay. I will make a third warning. 3 strikes, you're out. Remember that. Hey guys, if you would like to carry on a conversation, kindly do it in the privacy of your own den of iniquity, and don't bother soloing up mine, okay? Hey, this is important stuff we talk about here. Hey, oh, yee. Hey, nice hat. Where'd you get it? Florshams, the shoe people. They just like, you know, put an ironing board out there and stuck it on my head. Hey, okay, so thank you, thank you. So, yeah, so I was on a desert island. There was this bottle. I had to empty the bottle in order to send a message in the bottle. So I drank the contents of the bottle, and I wrote a rescue note, and it said, whoever finds this, help. I think I'm going to be sick. So that was my message in a bottle. Okay, that's a proto-reggae song. No, it's actually a cheap attempt to expropriate reggae, but it's another story. Yes, the reggae jam is coming up pretty soon. So I should sign off with these few words of wisdom. No more echo, please. I'm the Wrong Hero. I've got 20/20/20 vision in 3 eyes. And when I wake up in the morning, I don't have an eye opener, I have a third eye opener. And I'd like to talk in the minute that remains about the reason why I'm not successful. The reason why I'm not successful is that everybody in this town is just as cynical as I am, and they can all go to hell.
Yeah.
Because I'm the wrong hero. I've got Norman Rockwell's avant-garde sensibility and Torque Romata's sense of humor. I'm a cross between Don Quixote and Pere Ubu. I'm not shackled into lockstep thinking by a self-contained agenda. I make up this shit as I go along. And I'm here now, in the last minute or so, to fight against the unimaginativeness of the entire world. And here's why. What's the capital of Tunisia? Tunis. What's the capital of Algeria? Algiers. Of Kuwait? Kuwait City. Of Brazil? Brasilia. Of El Salvador? San Salvador. Of Guatemala? Guatemala City. Of Panama? Panama City. Of Singapore? Singapore. Of Oklahoma? Oklahoma City. Of Indiana? Indianapolis. Why don't we call the United States